if people want to have an initiative for a public library of the future, they must confront these freedom issues. They must make sure that there are no digital handcuffs in what they lend. And they must confront the new threat of massive surveillance. Libraries could take steps to make sure that they can't tell the state who borrowed what book. Because thanks to the USAP Riot Act in the US, which the proponents of like to call the USA Patriot Act, but since this is totally un-American, I refuse to use that name. That law enables the FBI to go to one person in an organization, somebody who has access to some data, and say, you're not allowed to tell your boss or anyone, you just have to give us this data. The only defense is if there is no one in the organization, no one in the US who has access to this data. Well, how can you do this? Suppose you send the information to some organization in another country, which says, if the book becomes overdue more than 5 days, we will tell you who borrowed it. But until then, you can't know. Well, this way, anyone who borrows books and returns them on time is safe in anonymity. It used to be no real issue, say 40 years ago, that libraries had a record of who had borrowed what book. It would have been too much work to go and collect all the records of who borrowed everything. Yeah, the FBI could have come to a library and say, we want to see who borrowed such and such book. We want to see what book so-and-so has borrowed. But it was so inconvenient that it would only be done occasionally for some very good reason. But now it can be done massively for the sake of things comparable to total information awareness.